L564. Now, your benefits people should know what that is. They're going to sign it and say between this date and this date that you had creditable coverage, and then whenever you go to enroll, you're going to present that to the Social Security Administration. Now, why Social Security? Because Social Security administers Medicare. The enrollment and all of this is done through Social Security. If you need to enroll in Medicare, you're going to do that through the Social Security website, ssa.gov, L564. You could look it up yourself on a CMS website, or just poke around on the internet. You just need to know to look for it, know what you're looking for. They'll probably have the form though, so you don't have to go hunting for it. And then you're going to provide that to Social Security. You can enroll online. They'll give you a place to upload, or you can go to one of their offices. If you like to look them in the eye, you can do that. If you're retired and you have a lot of time on your hands, you can do it over the phone. But you're going to be on hold for a long time. So how about health savings accounts? Anybody got an HSA? Let's talk about that. So you need to discontinue making contributions to your HSA 6 months, at least 6 months before taking any part of Medicare. That includes Part A that you're not paying. The reason is that you don't want to run afoul with the IRS. You're going to have a penalty on that if you continue to make contributions. So write that down. If you're making HSA contributions, you can keep your HSA. In fact, you can pay your premiums out of your HSA account, which is really, really cool. But you can't continue to make contributions without incurring a penalty. Yes. Okay, Part A, let's get into more detail. Part A helps to cover. And I like to use the word helps because nothing, as she pointed out, nothing covers everything 100%. So it helps to cover hospital and skilled nursing. That's what this SNF means up here, skilled nursing facility. Inpatient labs, imaging, and medical equipment, some blood transfusions, and hospice care, should you need that. Now, how does Part A work? Part A has a deductible, $1,632 in 2024. If you go to the hospital and you have Part A, it's going to cost you $1,632. That's the price of admission. It doesn't matter which hospital that you go to. You can go to Memorial Hermann, you could go to Methodist, you could go to St. Luke's, it does not matter. It's going to be $1,632. That is not an annual deductible. That is a deductible per benefit period. So that begs the question, what is a benefit period? A benefit period begins when you're admitted to the hospital, and it ends 60 days after you're discharged from the hospital. So here's the question. Could you have more than one benefit period in a year? How many benefit periods could we have in a year? Could have 6 if it's a leap year like this year. But regardless, now that's unlikely that that would happen, but regardless, if you have to pay the $1,632 more than one time, that's a drag. You don't want to have to do that. And it doesn't matter if you go into the hospital for the same thing. If you've been out of the hospital for at least 60 days, then you have to go back in. It starts all over again. Have you ever noticed whenever you go to you ever been to the emergency room and you're like waiting for 30 hours to see a doctor in the emergency room? And the doctor finally comes to see you and says, I'm going to admit you to the hospital. It's like a formal declaration. I've noticed this before. I didn't understand the significance of it. The doctor says, we're going to admit you to the hospital. It's like an official declaration. Well, that's significant. That actually matters because that's when the clock starts ticking. And you're like, well, where have I been for the last 30 hours? You've been there under observation, but you haven't been admitted to the hospital. So the clock starts ticking when they say, we are admitting you to the hospital. $1,632 gets you in the door. The first 60 days in the hospital cost you $0. This is just hospital. This is room and board in a semi-private room with meals. Nothing says recovery like green Jell-O, right? This does not include, it doesn't include all the other stuff. This is the hospital stay. Now, if you've been there for 60 days, 61 days, they're going to start charging you rent. And it's $408 per day. After 90 days, then you run out of your regular days. And so after 90 days, then you're going to throw down a wild card. It's called your lifetime reserve days. And everyone who has Medicare Part A has 60 lifetime reserve days. You can use them any way that you want to. You can use them all at once if you need to. You can use 5 here and 10 here, but use them wisely because you only get 60. Those are going to cost you more too. Let's say that this fellow in the hospital is in here for all 60 days, days 91 through 150. It's going to cost $816 per day. This scenario played out, which is an unlikely scenario. Who's going to be in the hospital for 150 days? If you come out of this alive, then you're going to leave with a hospital bill of $62,000 or so. That's your responsibility. This is if you have just Part A and Part B, just original Medicare. This is what we call original Medicare, by the way. If you ever hear that term, Part A and Part B is original Medicare. Now, let's say that you're not ready to go home yet. Here's a good scenario for this. Someone has a stroke. What happens when you have a stroke? You're going to go to the hospital. You're going to probably have acute care for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then at some point the doctor's going to say, you don't really need to be here anymore. We're going to discharge you, but then you're not really ready to go home yet either. The doctor's going to refer you to a skilled nursing facility. First 20 days in a skilled nursing facility, Part A is going to cover that. Cost you zero. Cost you zero because you paid your $1,632 over here. If you're going to extend your vacation at the skilled nursing facility, days 21 through 100, they're going to be $204 a day. So 100 days in a skilled nursing facility, you're going to leave with another $20,000 or so. So all of this could add up a lot. That's the moral of the story here, is that it can get very expensive if you don't have something else in place to take care of that.
Medicare plan.